Hey, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Chaim Samuels here. Now let's talk about Lilly Singh. If you've been following her career, you know she gained her fame from being a YouTuber, and a little while ago she was offered to host her own late night show. That lasted for about a few months, and then it was canceled, and up until a few days ago, I think everybody assumed that was the end of Lilly Singh's late night show. But a few days ago, Lilly Singh came out with this video.
If you haven't already heard, A Little Late with Lilly Singh is getting a season 2. You should have heard because literally I've been posting it on my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube, my mother effing Tinder, everything.
Now the fact that she was renewed for a second season, I know is going to be a huge feeding ground for so many YouTubers to just go after her and attack her and say that she's horrible and bad, and the fact that she's getting a new show, it's just insane and crazy. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy some of those videos or I wasn't tempted to do some type of video myself, but at the same time, when I created this channel, I specifically didn't just want to go after different content creators for the fun of it or just make fun of them. If I was going to critique somebody, I wanted to have a point behind why I was critiquing them. And with Lilly Singh, I want to talk about her show and the fact that she's coming back with a second season and actually try to provide some type of value specifically for her. So in this video, she says something that really does bother me, and it's kind of the basis for why I want to do this video in the first place.
One of the things I pride myself in is my self-awareness.
And the fact that she says she's self-aware just gets me so frustrated because all the evidence actually proves the opposite. The fact that she actually thinks that is her biggest strength really bugs me, because just from her decision to leave YouTube and go do a late night show is incredibly unself-aware. Somebody like Lilly Singh, who is entertaining 14-year-olds and creating content in her house that wasn't very adult, and if I'm being honest, wasn't very funny, to then transition over to a medium like late night, which is an incredibly difficult feat that takes somebody with a comedic background, with interviewing experience, somebody who's able to really provide adult type humor, something that Lilly Singh didn't have any of. Thinking that she can transition from YouTube to late night is incredibly unself-aware. So I really want to talk about her show a little bit in detail and tell you guys what I didn't like about it and how I think she can actually improve on it if she decides to take these steps. Yes, I didn't think her late night show was very good at all. Besides for just the terrible jokes, I think Lilly Singh's inability to be able to host a show like this and entertain and really interview people, she didn't have the skills to do something like this, but I can't completely blame her. I would have to definitely blame her writing staff. The jokes that she written were terrible, and I'm a stand-up comedian myself. I've been a comedian for about 4 to 5 years. I've been performing at some of the Manhattan clubs, and so I have some experience in writing jokes. And the jokes that she's coming out with are jokes that wouldn't even work in an open mic. And it's frustrating to see somebody like this who is on TV making these jokes. And it was pretty self-evident that she didn't feel very comfortable. It's also what her jokes are about. If you listen to her monologue, the entire monologue is all about how amazing she is and how just people can't handle her.
But I know for sure some people at home are looking at their TVs just like, is something wrong with my TV? Why are they playing Slumdog Millionaire after Seth Meyers? Hey, Middle America, I'm so glad you're here. Now that I'm in this position, I'm super excited to help pave the path. And as a woman, I'm especially stoked to join this group of people. I understand that for some people, white people, seeing someone like me host a show is terrifying. Hashtag not my Carson Daly. Maybe I shouldn't be joking about this because, I mean, one of the biggest fears of white America is that minorities are coming to take their jobs, you know what I mean? And honestly, we are.
And that to me is such an unlikable quality and doesn't really attract very funny material in the first place. And I think the fact that Lilly Singh came out with this idea that people can't handle her and that she's so different really set her up for not actually having to self-evaluate herself. As I said before, her whole format seems to just be about how people can't handle her, and that is not good comedy. Every time I watch her, I'm not learning something new about her in her jokes. I'm always learning about other people or how she looks at other people. And let me just be completely honest, Lilly. If you're watching this, nobody cares that you're a woman of color and bisexual hosting a show. I think it's insulting to just assume that the reason your show didn't work out or the reason people just can't handle you are because of these reasons. It's not because of that. It's because you're not very good at this. She consistently claims that her show is it's so different, it's so much newer than every other late night show that's coming out. The fact that she's bisexual and she's a woman of color just makes her stand out so much from the pack, but it's quite the opposite when you actually look at her show. Her show is the most polished, marketed type of late night show. Nothing seems original, nothing seems new. Everything seems like a corporation is trying to entertain us. And the fact that she thinks because she's a woman of color or bisexual, that's what's special about her late night show, really gets me frustrated. And just blaming her show's failures here on this straw man that she built for herself, as opposed to her inability to actually be able to produce a good show. And it's specifically because of the material you're putting out why people don't find you, in my opinion, very likable. Something that I get from Lilly Singh most of the time is I don't feel like she's being very genuine. I could be wrong. It could be she's a very nice person. Something that I think makes a really great late night host is a genuine feel. To bring an example, I would say somebody like Craig Ferguson, who in my opinion is the greatest late night host, specifically because everybody he was with, he just elevated his guest. It always seemed like whoever was on his show loved to be around him. With Craig Ferguson, he didn't need to be the loudest or the funniest person in the room. I never felt that. I always felt like he just wanted to have a good time and elevate whoever is around him. But I don't get that sense with Lilly Singh. The sense I get from Lilly Singh is she needs to be the loudest and most popular person in the room. And I don't think that leads to a very likable personality. Positivity that I've seen from Lilly Singh, it always feels fake to me. I don't think she's doing this positivity because she really believes in it. I think it's just her way of not listening to people critiquing her, not putting her in a position where she can actually take criticism. Every one of her videos where she talks about the haters, where she talks about people criticizing her, it's all about how the haters can't handle her. And it really frustrates me, again, in this video where she talks about one of her greatest strengths is self-awareness, because I just don't see that. I think she decides she wants to hang around a bunch of yes men and block out all the people saying she sucks. And I think she thinks that this is somehow positivity and it's really healthy, but in my opinion, she's really not letting herself grow. I think if she wants to get better at something, specifically comedy, she needs to surround herself with people that are going to give her tough love. Not people that are just going to shit on her, but people who are going to let her know when something doesn't work. And I haven't seen that throughout her career and definitely through her late night show. Now, she does address a little bit of this. She does admit a little bit. She has some things she needs to improve on. Even in the video, she talks about how people are criticizing her, and she addresses the idea that people were saying that she shouldn't do certain games or she should do certain games, and instead of saying, maybe you guys have a point, she says this.
And so when you give me feedback, like, why doesn't she have this guest on the show? Why isn't she doing this? It's not for lack of trying, it's just, I'm trying to figure it out. So many times I've been tempted to respond to comments, like, why isn't this person on your show? And I'm like, oh, it's because of their schedule. It's because they have a PR team that does this. Why aren't you playing this game on your show? Ah, because legally we can't do that. Why aren't you doing more sketches? Because when I shoot one for my YouTube channel, it's this much money. And when you shoot it for the show, it's this much money.
People just don't understand what I'm going through, as opposed to your audience is telling you what they think should be improved. Take those ideas and try to implement them. Now, going into her second season, I'm not really sure what to say. I do think she has some experience, and no doubtedly, she's gonna get better at it, but how much better is she gonna get at it? What I would suggest to somebody like Lilly Singh is go out to do a few things. Number one, go out to open mics where people don't recognize you and just do jokes. And you'll learn very soon that you're not very good. And I think that's good. Most people starting out doing stand-up comedy are not very good. I was terrible when I started out, but it broke down my ego and it helped me to kind of get out of my own way and start to improve. The second thing I would do is hang around people that you think are really going to critique you, who are really going to give it to you straight. And open yourself up to some criticism. Don't assume that everybody who's criticizing you is automatically hating on you. I'm not hating on you. Actually, I'm giving you these tips specifically because I want you to succeed, especially as a YouTuber. I really hope that if she's watching this, which I don't think she is, but if she happens to come across this video, she doesn't take this as a hateful video. She takes this as actual critique. And she can actually implement some of these ideas, like actually writing jokes, not about how amazing she is and people can't handle her, but actually making fun of her and making her more relatable and kind of and making her more susceptible to criticism and making fun of herself. I think that's what people are really going to like about her and are really going to enjoy about her show. I really hope she does succeed. I wish her the best. Thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day, you guys.